Hello and welcome back to the Perth to Paisley podcast, episode number 134. Hearts kicked off their opening game of the 23-24 season with a win at McDermott Park. Nobody saw it coming. So we've got that to talk about. We've got a whole lot more to talk about. It's going to be a very busy episode. So as ever, I am Daniel McIver, joined by Adam Kennedy. Adam, how you doing?
I'm very well, McIver. Yeah, great opening weekend. That being said, I'm disappointed with myself because I obviously posed a quiz question to you last week about players that had played for both Leeds United and Heart Midlothian. How did I forget ballers such as Eddie White and Robert Snodgrass?
The comments were very quick to chastise us for
and
not
quite rightly so.
Yeah.
So that was an absolute shocker on my part. But in terms of Hearts in the current day, the opening weekend, I don't think it could have gone much better, to be honest. And how rare is that to say? So yeah, very, very happy. It's nice the football being back, isn't it? That always seems to be the case come August, and then by October we're depressed and don't wish for the football was back. Yeah. So we're making the most of it. Europe on the horizon, signings coming in. It's all coming together, so long may that continue.
It's all happening. But before we get into that, there is a couple of pieces of admin. The first one is we wanted to just advertise the big Hearts Gala that is happening on the 9th of September. We were at last year's gala and it was a right laugh. It was really,
brilliant.
Really good. So the VIP guests are pretty big. It's Paul Hartley and Darren Barr. So tickets are available on Big Hearts' website, Twitter, at the ground. You can also just ask about it and they'll give you all the information. So if you can get down to it, it is a really good night, eh?
Definitely worth going to, and Big Hearts are an absolute credit to the club, credit to the employees that work there, top people. And I actually bumped into one of their VIP guests, Paul Hartley, yesterday. Yes. And got a wee chat about the Jambas. I love that man. He's just a wonderful human being. Asked him what it was like, the hat-trick against Hibs at Hampden, and he just said it was brilliant. He loves coming back to Tynecastle. Just speaks so passionately, even despite his allegiances, but we can overlook that. And the club that he sold to, but that's fine. That's okay. We're not going into that. This is about him and his Hearts career. And he loves Hearts, loves coming back to Tynecastle. Really looking forward to it. So hopefully we can get along. That would be good. Loved it.
Definitely. Before we go into other stuff, another thing that I've just remembered right now, I wanted to thank everybody, and assume you're the same, because last week's episode was our most listened to episode ever for the opening weekend.
Oh really?
So thanks for that, everybody.
Thanks very much. That's news to me. So yeah, everybody's probably just expecting our anger at the club's lack of movement over everything, and they're just like, these two clowns will be able to speak on our behalf, and we just didn't. So yeah, but it's nice of you to tune in anyway. So thanks.
Exactly. But speaking about movement, and it's a great transition into the first port of call there. It's almost as if you knew that was happening.
Definitely didn't.
It's incredible.
Sheer fluke, as you know on the show.
We chance it and it works, like it has just now. So, a signing that we thought was hopefully going to be announced and made last week when we were doing the podcast, and it hadn't been, but a couple of days later.
I forgot his name. Still don't know how to pronounce his name, but
I do.
Oh,
so
that's good.
Fine.
That was good.
So we're absolutely fine.
I'm just going to call him Tags.
Great. Fair play. So on the Thursday just before the opening weekend, it was finally announced the other things that Hearts had been plugging about on Twitter, social media, was the signing from FC Tokyo, Japanese internationalist Kyosuke Tagawa, who is a forward who is very fast. We'll get into him because we got to catch a glimpse of him at the weekend, but 24-year-old forward who can play in a number of the front positions, very fast, strong, capped for Japan a couple of times as well.
Scored for Japan as well, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it has all the makings of a really good sign. It's a 4-year deal as well, so we're clearly putting our thoughts into him and thinking that he's going to be a big success.
Very much so, but I'm surprised, given his pedigree and what he's arrived with, we can't have been the only club sniffing around him, surely.
I know, you'd think so.
Given that, that track record seems impressive. So listen, I mean, the Hearts fans were so quick to criticise the club for taking their time. We've brought in a proven international, albeit a couple of caps, but he scored for his country. Just relax. It's going to come good. And look at the early signs. A decent enough debut in Perth, really. There is a chance that I think he should do better, but we'll come to that. However, the early signs are very good. And it's imperative that we needed some pace. Imperative that Shankland has somebody in front of him, I think, to kind of not do his running for him, but sort of stretch defences and give Shankland little pockets that he can pick up and an extra space to work in.
And Kioske has been brought in the Gino mould.
Look at you. What is his name? Kioske?
Kioske. So the Suke in Japanese is pronounced ske.
Like Shunsuke Nakamura. Yeah.
So that's how you remember it, and then it's just Tagawa as it's spelled.
Is it Tagawa or Tagawa?
Well, both versions seem to be said by Japanese commentators, so it seems to be a pronunciation. I've most commonly heard it as Tagawa.
Tagawa, like Kagawa, Shinji Kagawa.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So Tagawa seems to be the main. When you look at Japanese highlights on YouTube, and it's the official club, the official country's highlights, they say Tagawa.
Right.
So Kioske Tagawa. We'll go with that. So he's come in very much in the Ginelli mould, and we were kind of like, okay, this is good. There was rumours of another person coming in that we assumed would be the next signing. However, the next day and the day before the St Johnstone game, seemingly out of nowhere, halfway through the day, there was rumours that Hearts were going to be announcing the signing of a Rangers youngster, which naturally sets the heather alight, and that's all people are talking about. And then within a couple of hours, it was confirmed that very highly rated Rangers youngster Alex Lowry has joined Hearts on a season-long loan, with Rangers having the option to recall in January if their opening season day weekend results continue. And basically, it very much came out of nowhere. 20-year-old has been at Rangers his whole career, and it was safe to say it was slightly divisive when it was announced at the time.
Yeah, I mean, Hearts announcing a Rangers player signature, just lack of controversy there, really. I can see why. Look, it seems like we've beaten English clubs, other Scottish clubs for Alex Lowry's signature. I'm pleased with the signing, don't get me wrong. However, I can't lie, when I did see it break, there was a small part of me that was very surprised that Hearts were willing to develop a Rangers player. Now, there's two ways of looking at it, because again, it's only till January. But you're not trying to tell me
maybe it could be the whole season.
Well, this is what I was going to say. So, if Hearts are impressed with his progress, we'll obviously look to extend that, I would assume. Rangers haven't got off to the best start, but by the same score, if they get up and running and are pleased with his progress, we've got to kind of hope that we could extend it beyond the end of the season. Until the end of the season. But I don't know. There was something that didn't quite feel right. I know that's really bizarre to say, because he is a top player, a really good prospect. The only thing that you have heard through the grapevine is that supposedly his attitude is honking, and he thinks he's already made it. So I was refreshed when I heard his comments having joined the football club before he made his debut, and his cameo in Perth was excellent. So it seems as though these things have been misconstrued. There's a misinterpretation somewhere. And look, if he performs in a maroon shirt, I really don't care who he belongs to.
So I very much couldn't care less about this whole developing a Rangers player, because bluntly, they're not our competition. Our competition are Aberdeen and Hibs.
They're not McIver, but they halt our youngsters' progress. And how many Hearts fans would love to see boys from the academy get a chance? That was a major criticism of Robbie Nielsen as well when he was in charge. However, I just can't help but think now the likes of Connor Smith who has been touted for a loan move with a number of clubs interested. Does this spell the end for him? Does this spell the end for George Grant, who's also contracted, given he was omitted from the matchday squad in Perth? It seems so.
I mean, like, this sounds really blunt, and I don't mean it to, but I don't care if we don't have youngsters coming through. For me, I totally understand why some people do. For me, that's never, ever been a concern of mine. And I understand where some people say, oh, it'll halt the advancement of youngsters in that position. In that position is Connor Smith, and Alex Lowry's 10 times the player that Connor Smith is. Like, he's younger than him, and he's in that half, or even in that 30 minutes, it was a more encouraging display from Alex Lowry than I've ever seen.
Would you scrap the academy?
No, because I think it's very crucial, and what it does is it can supplement stuff. So with the whole Connor Smith thing on the flip side, where people are like, well, then why have we given him a new deal and all these things if we're doing this?
He seems to be hanging on, Connor Smith. I hate to break it to him, but I feel as though it had to have happened by now, if it's going to happen at all.
I don't,
and
really
I do
mind,
like him
though,
as a player. I think he is a talented boy, but it just isn't working, or it's not good. It doesn't appear. You need that bit of luck in football as well.
Yeah,
and for whatever reason, he's not had it.
I don't think it's a bad thing, though, to kind of keep youngsters just adding on contracts, because it's not a major cost. It's not like it's a transfer fee that we've brought in. For example,
that we know of. I mean, you'd assume it's not.
It's a terrifying prospect that we're paying these guys first team money. But generally, you would go, well, they're already here. We're not paying them first team wages. It's not like we're spending them. So it's like, yeah, just keep them in. It can help the homegrown aspect,
quota, and
all that stuff. So definitely not. I think the academy needs massive improvement. Very much the opposite to scrapping it. But I'm not the type of person who's like, we need to have academies.
No,
if we can,
definitely
great.
not. Definitely not. But I think in a league and country that doesn't have a lot of money, there needs to be a higher importance placed on young players coming through. Definitely. And I mean look at Falkirk a couple of years ago. They had a little link with Swansea, didn't they, where they sold loads of academy players, your Stephen Kingsleys, your Jay Fultons, your Botti Biabis of the world. And then Falkirk decided to scrap their youth system, and now look at them. So I don't know. I don't think there's a definitive answer, but I do feel as though it's a tough one, because like somebody of Lowry's talent, you can't say no, even if it is only for that short period. But again, like the knock-on effect that it then has,
I don't think it has any knock-on effect. I think people are adding too much. I don't think Alex Lowry, whether or not he becomes a first-team regular in the Rangers team, is going to be the difference between us getting third in his life. You know how people are using the argument of like, oh, well, we're developing a youth player. It's like, well, they're all better than our players, so why don't we get some benefit from them now?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Look, you said that he could well be the difference in Hearts getting third. He's exactly the type of player we need someday in that final third. So that's what I mean. You know, I'm not criticising the profile of the player.
Yeah. I mean it in the sense of like
I wanted a 10. We've now got a 10. I can't then be hypocritical and go, oh yeah, do you know what? I don't want some Rangers cast off, because that's not the case at all. He's a talented boy. Again, this will all go out the window if he performs in a Hearts shirt. I'm well aware of that.
I also just don't think Rangers will recall him in January, even if they're doing badly. I don't think any.
If he's got Todd Cantwell there, he's brought in Kieran Dowell. Even the likes of some of the boys that played, like Rangers don't seem to have any wingers. They all seem to be 10s or attacking midfielders. Yeah. So he does seem to be dropping down the pecking order, and we've just taken advantage of that. I thought he'd go down south. I think it was Northampton were credited with an interest.
Maybe, yeah.
And supposedly, I think St Mirren and Ross County were the two of the Scottish sides that had showed an interest early on, but
apparently so.
He's better than that, and looks a real smart capture. So hold my hands up. If Perth's anything to go by, it could be an absolutely cracking signing. I'm raging given the young player now, because
I know exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of bullshit. But Alex Lowry did travel to Perth in the opening weekend of the Cinch Premiership 23-24. But first, before we get to that game, we have an amazing around the ground segment to go through.
Literally could not get much better than that.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. So, the Saturday games consisted of the early kick-off Celtic just being Celtic and winning comfortably.
Nobody cares.
No one cares. Dundee in the return to the Premiership held Motherwell, as of course Theo Bayer scores on his Motherwell debut after everyone in the country's been slating him beforehand, so that was a laugh. Livingston, I mean, very surprisingly, got a point against Aberdeen, with the main talking point of that game kind of being Bruce Anderson's head just detonating, and very much hope that he's alright, because that was worrying.
Or just how rank the game was. I mean, if that's the only point of note that speaks volumes about the 90 minutes.
Exactly. We had our game, and then the later kickoff was the shock result of the weekend, as at home Kilmarnock, who you were very quick to speak about how good they were. I don't think even you could have expected this.
I certainly did not.
As they defeated Michael Beale's new look Rangers team 1-0, and then on the Sunday there was just the best game as St Mirren defeated Hibernian at Easter Road 3-2, as Hibs went 2-0 down within 20 minutes. Lee Johnson makes a bunch of changes, gets it back to 2-2. At 90th minute they concede a third goal via Alex Greaves' heat. So, what did you make of the other games?
See, I genuinely thought to myself, like, those weeks and months of wait have been worth it just for this one weekend alone. That was magnificent. Celtic Ross County I did see some of, despite travelling to my game. I don't know. County actually seemed somewhat unlucky. I think the Simon Murray penalty claim, I think Celtic are lucky to get away with. Yeah. It is a penalty there and then, so County's game plan kind of goes out the window, but they certainly put up a fight second half when it could have been easy to crumble. You know, it would have been easy for them to concede 5-6 given the nature of Celtic. I thought Aberdeen were going to be the price of the weekend, to be honest. I really fancied them to go to Livingston and win that, given that I'd voiced my concerns about Livy's top tier status last week. But that's a great result, and given that they host Celtic as well next weekend, obviously if we beat Kilmarnock and can take advantage of that, then it's looking good. In terms of our game, we'll obviously come to that. Saturday, just Rangers, man. How can you spend 15 million quid and get beat by Kilmarnock, whose most high profile signing I think was Stuart Finlay on loan? I don't think they spent
Robbie Dees.
I don't think they spent a penny. Robbie Dees was unbelievable.
He was fantastic. I saw the second half, and he was amazing.
But I don't know if Killie were good or Rangers rank. I think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, they were just inexplicably shelling crosses in to the massive defenders.
But Rangers huffed and puffed and got nowhere, really. Yeah. The Theo Bayer thing at Motherwell's really funny as well. What about Dan Casey's handball? Please tell me you saw that.
Oh, it's like one of those 1 in a million moments where you're just like, how do we react to this?
And like folks saying that, how can VAR not see that? Why would VAR be looking at that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, Kelly, I really could have done without Kelly picking up 3 points the next Sunday. But no matter, given that their Tynecastle record is good, even that ranked Kelly team last year beat us and knocked us out of the League Cup, didn't they?
They could have got beat 8-0 at the weekend and I would still be like, they're probably going to win.
Oh, it's just annoying. But it really was quite funny. most of the country laughing at Rangers' expense. He's under big pressure already. I mean, if they don't get through the Champions League, yikes, against Servette and then PSV or Sturm Graz, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be PSV
in the playoff. You'd think so. What a move that is for Max Johnson, Sturm Graz, and he's already potentially back in Scotland in a Champions League qualifier. And yet he was at Cove last year on loan. I love football. And speaking of managers under pressure, we Lee, my goodness,
a hero of a man.
I said this is the season. I really hope. I'm firmly John's in, but I'm worried. That couldn't have gone much better. Could I just say, Hibs just 2-0 down after 20 minutes, like you say. The illusion by the fans to then get it back to 2 each, and they're in the ascendancy. They've got the momentum, and then St Mirren just got the barking bang. Oh, absolutely tremendous! Genuinely, just the best rivals that you could ever ask for. One of my Hibs mates who was at the game, he stuck 20 quid on Hibs at 2-0 down. 50 to 1 he got. Would have got over a bag back. So at 2 each, I think he thought that there was still a chance, because did they not equalise? I think it was about 82, 83 minutes.
Yeah, they had time.
They conceded. Crazy 5 fixtures. I'm just so happy that the football's back, and when you get treated to a weekend like that, it's just made all the more apparent. What did you make of it? Just brilliant, isn't it?
I just thought it was really funny. All of them were funny. It was like, ask a Hearts fan, what do you want to have happen? You want as many teams as you don't like to drop points as possible, and barring Celtic, they all did, 2 of which got beat in the funniest way possible.
Oh, fantastic.
And the Theo Bayer thing's just really funny.
just pleasing to see Dundee not win that, because they probably should have won that.
Yeah,
so
they
that's
probably
nice.
should have won that, actually.
Yeah, fantastic.
Just great. But of
God
course,
bless the Cinch.
the best thing was that we travelled to McDermott Park, a place that we have only won 1 game in the last decade. However, it was the last game that we played up there. So, keep the momentum going. Let's see what happens.
That's it. Here we go, 3 in a row.
Exactly. So, the team that was tasked with getting the result in Perth was 4-2-3-1, although I'd argue it was more of a 4-3-3 flat.
Yeah.
Because Neuenhoff, I don't really know where he was meant to be playing.
I think it was in the 10, but he's not a 10, is he?
But he's not a 10, so he's
not
drifting deeper.
No.
But it was Clark in goals, a back 4 of Atkinson right back, Kent and Rose as the 2 centre halves, and Stephen Kingsley as obviously Alex Cochrane's filling in, suspended for the first 3 league games, but he could play if Naismith wants him to on Thursday night against Rosenborg.
You mean if Frankie wants
Frankie McAvoy, if that's who he picked, the wee man with a chain.
Listen,
picks him.
UEFA could be watching. We don't know.
Could be. Well, inexplicably, today as we're recording this, Hearts just released an interview with Naismith speaking about all the new signings and the potential games.
And they labelled it technical director. Fantastic work for the club. Like it.
Yeah. The famous technical director that you always ask about the games and signings and stuff like that. Yep, exactly. So, yes, Stephen Kingsley was at left back. A 2 of Haring and Devlin. 3 of Alan Forrest on the left. Oda on the right. Neuenhoff in behind. Shankland, number 9. But the main takeaway, I think, from most people was the bench and the strength of the bench, as
Very
it was.
so.
New signing, Michael McGovern as the backup goalie, Andy Halliday, Aidan Denham, Toby Sibic, George Grant, but then we had a 4 of Benny Beningame, Liam Boyce, Alex Lowry and Kiyosuke Tagawa. Exciting.
Nice.
Just like, so I was like, okay, yeah, that's basically the team I expected. I don't know about you.
Yeah, because it wasn't too far away from the Leeds team, was it?
Mm-hmm. I think it was the exact team that started against the
so that's not overly surprising. I think that's usually a decent indicator, your last kind of pre-season friendly, to obviously keep them ticking over for next week. Just an array of options that we've got now, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's great. I mean,
that's
what a playing squad should be.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we've mastered that. Yeah. Look, the bench, like you say, I can't recall as strong a bench as that for a good wee while. I mean, even just the players that came on, you're looking at it, Benny probably starts if fully fit. Yep. Liam Boyce, top player for us.
Yep.
Tagawa now we've obviously shelled out on. We've beaten supposedly nobody remarkably to that signing.
Yep.
But arrives with a decent pedigree. Alex Lowry, of course, is going to play, otherwise Rangers wouldn't have sent him here. So it's it's looking great. We've got plenty in our arsenal, and I think pretty much everybody had a real part to play as the 90 unfurled, which was great to see.
Well, the first half wasn't that great to see.
No.
As Jesus Christ.
The first half was warning signs of what we'd previously seen,
Yes,
particularly from
exactly.
set pieces.
Well, the very first highlight, we should be 1-0 down. We
Is that
should
the
be
Liam
1-0
Gordon
down.
one.
8 minutes in, Graham Carey swings in a free kick from the near side for St Johnstone that is met by, thankfully, Liam Gordon, who puts it past the post. If that's any forward-thinking player, that's 1-0 St Johnstone.
I think I jokingly said, maybe not on here, but to a couple of pals, 1-0 Liam Gordon. Get
It
your
was
house
on
it.
here.
Yeah.
It was on here that you said.
So that was quite relieving. Yeah, sitter. Absolute sitter. It's funny, isn't it? How we open this podcast, you're like, isn't it great? Football's back. We missed this. Like all these positives. And yet all it would have taken would be Hearts to fall behind on 8 minutes, and we'd have probably been sat here going, this is shite. Can't believe the football's back. I'm dreading the football being back. We're going to get pumped in Norway midweek. Fine margins, isn't it? That's ultimately what it comes down to. I think I'm even learning this working for a football club. It's amazing all the little factors within a match that can define the game.
Yeah,
this
crazy.
Is a massive let off, and look, put it this way, I thought they'd score from a corner, but it's nice to see that obviously that wasn't the case. However, that overshadows the fact that we get away with one here.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming from? It would have been no surprise to anybody had we conceded from this instance, given what was going on last season. But we've got to give praise for the most part, actually looking quite solid as a defensive unit, and a clean sheet on the opening day, along with picking up 3 points. We couldn't ask for much more than that.
Well, thankfully, we started to come into it a wee bit more now. We get a corner, Neuenhoff plays it short to Forrest, who then plays it to Kingsley. We did this in the Leeds game numerous times, so this is clearly a tactic. Kingsley swings it in, it's met by Frankie Kent, however, it's just headed wide.
Sorry, McIver.
Yeah?
This was one of his only offensive headers. But how nice is having a centre half that heads the ball away, man?
I've got stats for you.
I don't think he lost anything in the air, did he?
So, 9 out of 9 successful aerial duels, 2 blocks, 3 interceptions, 0 possession lost, 0 fouls given away, 2 fouls received.
I know it's only St Jobby, I know it's the opening day, I know there's a long, long way to go. But, this is a reminder to not write a player off before they've kicked a ball for Hearts. Everybody's so underwhelmed by the signing. Who's this? Some League One dross? Why are we signing players from the posh? Never heard of this bloke. Peter Brown, all that great. Relax. Watch. The naked eye tells you all you need to know sometimes. Just relax. Let us see what happens. Really impressive debut. Really like the look of him.
Well, that's the title. Frankie says relax. That's perfect. We're sorted. We're done. Let's go home. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. We're done.
See you next week.
We're done. But yeah, he just looks great. I said on Twitter I'm almost annoyed at how good he looks, because imagine if we'd had him for 4 games last season, we would have been third.
Basically, do you think he starts alongside Halkett? I'm intrigued to know who you think, because I can't see Halkett being on the left of a 2.
Yeah.
Rolls is obviously a lefty, but I don't know. I feel for Sibic, to be honest, but
I know
I don't know if he
feel
can
like
play
he's
on
the
left.
biggest loser out of all of this.
Yeah, I don't know who partners, because Kent, and again I know it's only his league debut. Off that basis, is probably first name on the team sheet in a defensive sense. But who partners him, I don't know.
Because I thought Rolls was noticeably improved, much like he was whenever Halkett was there, where he didn't need to do the physicality, he could just do the kind of neat and tidy work, because you see it immediately as Forrest does really well to keep the ball under challenges for Ryan McGowan before giving it to Rolls, and about 3 times in this half he just shelled it. Pinpoint accuracy out to Oda, who would take it down. In this case, he plays an Atkinson who drags wide. Forrest then does well again, and I want to say this. Alan Forrest, I thought, had a good game from when he was on.
He's a bit of a boo boy for you, isn't he, Alan Forrest?
He is, and I was such a big fan of him at the start of last year. I was like, come on, Alan, I believe in you.
He started well.
He did start well.
Don't forget this, he did start well. You just touched on my boo boy, who I also have to apologise to. Nathaniel Atkinson was really
great.
Good. Really good. He and Kingsley. I mean, both. I thought Stephen Kingsley looked. It was like, where has this been? My man looked as though he'd been revived. It was fantastic. I don't know if that's because there's pressure on him, given Cochrane's obviously absent.
You've got 3 games, Stephen.
3 games. Impress or catch you after.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he went away to Ukraine with Scotland, didn't he? And then after that, he and Mackay both fell off a cliff. Something was obviously in the air. We don't know. Exactly. We don't know what happened. But he and Atkinson looked really good. The whole back four were great. Yeah. But again, context. Yeah, St Johnstone. I'm not getting too carried away.
It's St Johnstone away, where for you we've had good teams and you got beat there.
That's a good point.
It doesn't matter. We just seem to be terrible.
But were we up against better Saints teams? Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So, I do agree though. The first half was, I summarised it as, it was fine. There wasn't a lot of quality in it. We had a lot of the ball, but I do feel like the 2 standouts were Forrest and Atkinson, who are often the 2 standouts for the wrong reasons. But they very much were positives. Neuenhoff kind of was the quietest out of the new guys because, as I said, he clearly isn't a 10.
I was going to say exactly that. It's not his position. I mean, we've obviously shelled out on him. Mm-hmm. Can you really drop a Haring or Devlin after the weekend? I don't think so. But we'll probably see the best of Callum Neuenhoff in front of the back four. Yeah. Given obviously we've got a couple 10s that will fill that gap. Even Shankland drops into there and could have tags running.
Well, that's what happened when he came on.
Him.
Shankland
Exactly.
dropped in.
So it's an array of options everywhere. Really, this is what you want.
Suddenly it feels like we've got good options everywhere.
It does, and we were so quick to write off the club for taking their time, but competition for places can only be healthy. That's what should happen at a club that's finishing towards the top end of the table. There should be, for the most part, you could name the strongest 11, but that doesn't mean to say that guys don't come in and perform or can push for places. Of course that should be the case. That's what successful sides do. So I'm really intrigued to see what goes on, because obviously everybody knows my love for Benny Beningame, and it was fantastic to see him back out on that pitch the weekend. But who starts in front of the back four going forward? I don't know. There's all of a sudden there's so many questions that I'd love to know the answer to in terms of our strongest 11 going forward, because I'm mouthing off about the array of options, but simultaneously it's not like there's a set 1 to 11.
Yeah, definitely. Towards the end of the first half, Frankie Kent heads away across, which is met by Phillips for St Johnstone, who hits an effort for the edge of the box.
That was quite a clean strike, to be fair.
It was fair to him, but it is down the throat of Clark.
Easy enough gather for Clark, yeah.
Neuenhoff actually has a great switch to Oda, who plays it inside to Atkinson in the edge of the box, but it's a pretty terrible effort. It goes well, and you see Shankland going through Atkinson for not playing it into him. But
I love that from a striker. Just knowing that if it's probably him that it falls to, there's only one place it's going. Yeah.
But that was
slowing the fullback. Love it.
That was the end of the first half. It was very much fine. I think even that I saw a lot of negativity.
Chance at either end.
Yeah, it was. I think 0-0 was fair, even though you would say their chance was a big chance.
Lucky that we're up against a relegation contender. And look, first day of the season, it's early days.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the second half starts, and I genuinely feel this. You might think I'm being a bit too arrogant here. I felt from the 50th minute onwards, it felt like a home game, which up at that stadium is insane to say. Like, it's just a testament to how well we played in that second half.
It's not really though, is it? Because when the Old Firm go, they take 3 stands. Like,
no, I know, but
us at that stand. Oh, well,
yeah.
Just or in terms of our performance on the park, or just
that's what I mean.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I mean in terms of like it felt like a home game from our dominance, from just like going, I think we'll be fine here actually.
Yeah. Again, sorry, I can't help but feel like we've both written St Johnstone off. So this, like,
I know.
Our only scepticism heading into this game was given how rank our record is up there.
Yeah.
It's only then when you see St Johnstone play that you then think, yeah, that should have, like, we got what we deserved. You're right. From the 50th minute, I'd even argue from the hour mark when certain players come on.
Yeah.
There was only ever one way that it was going to go. That being said, the St Johnstone keeper.
Well, this is who I wanted to speak about right
Mitov.
now.
Mitov.
I don't know.
Very good. Very good. I didn't realise they'd obviously signed him from Cambridge. Yeah. I hate to bring this up to you specifically. I didn't realise that he was the Cambridge keeper when Newcastle got knocked out the cup under Eddie.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sorry, mate.
It's fine. Sorry. It's fine. Champions League, fucking yes! It's fine.
It was a good season in the end.
Exactly. That was the time where the bonus signs were going. But yes, exactly. I think it's Mitov. I think it's Mitov. Right. He was one of those players and put in a performance that it's like, it starts to make you go, listen, they're minging, right? But they've clearly got a good keeper. Is it going to be one of those situations where it's just like they stay up by the skin of their teeth because he just has a ridiculous season?
Yeah, it gives you a chance. It's funny, do you know, like, those type of games, he has a world day at St James's Park. Usually keepers latch onto a good move after that. I'm surprised he's ended up at St Johnstone if that... Do you know what I mean? Like,
he got released from Cambridge as well. Like, he was part of the players that just moved on at the end of the season. So
that seems like it's a smart recapture. Because do you remember... Oh, which tournament was it? Was it Brazil 2014 where Ochoa was ridiculous in goal for Mexico?
Ochoa seems to be amazing at every tournament and then never gets a move.
Puts himself in the shop window, like latches onto somebody, and then, like you say, he ends up getting another move off the back of it. I don't know. I don't like how did St Johnstone sign him?
I don't know.
Surely, like, why did Cambridge release him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or does he hold the cards and has decided to then leave?
Yeah, he was out of contract, so I don't know if he just felt he could get more. I'm not sure, but
really bizarre.
They will need him. They will need him because apart from set pieces, there was a chance in the 57th minute where they got a corner and it led to a bit of stramash in the box that Clark does well to kind of flick up and then we get rid of it. But it genuinely, from open play, I was like, the only way this lot are scoring is if they get a chance and we make a mistake.
Yeah, hopeless. Absolutely hopeless.
Just terrible. And talking about the complete opposite of that, on the hour mark, Alex Lowry comes on to the park as a substitution. And listen, I do think there's been a bit of hyperbole around how good he was. I think another player had a bigger impact to the game, basically.
Interesting.
Right? But simultaneously, I think Lowry was more impressive than I thought he was going to be. I thought it would take a wee bit of time. It was like, listen, as a 20-year-old, we'll chuck him off for 10 minutes.
Considering he'd been announced the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That level of performance, to get anything out of it is impressive. But for a youngster to come in and immediately just... What's so impressive is he seems to like the ball touch tight to him when he's surrounded by opposition players, and he just inexplicably gets out.
Yeah, that's sort of a Benny Beningame trait that I really like. You feel as though he could kind of, I don't know, he could keep control of it in like a telephone box, and you know when it's sort of, you feel as though it's kind of glued to their feet. Just a lovely footballer. Very good.
Because I liked Forrest, as I say, I thought Forrest had a good game, but it did feel like we went up a level when Lowry came on for him.
Yeah, and look. Again, like if that's the level, I see a lot of fans saying, is that the end for Alan Forrest? I don't think so. I think it's just that, with all due respect, he's not at Livingston or Ayr United. This is another step up completely. Yeah, look, in terms of Lowry, if that's a first cameo, if that's him just getting to know his teammates, then the signs are good. I'm intrigued to see how it develops.
Well, then the other sub came on, and it was Kyosuke Tagawa. And I felt that was when everything kind of just clicked.
Interesting. I thought you were going to give Boise some credit as well. We both loved Boise.
We'll get to Boise's credit soon. Don't worry. But Tagawa came on. The first thing he did was St Johnstone had it at their centre half. He pressed them out to the left back, pressed them back to Mitov, pressed him, and then it felt St Johnstone just went, oh God, he's actually really fast. And they dropped a couple of yards, and I felt it just allowed us to to run over the top of them at that point. Because we were told, listen, he's a fast guy, he'll be coming in, stuff like that, he's the Gino replacement. He's so fast. Like, that was insane how quick he was moving with the ball at his feet as well.
McIver, you played as a defender in your younger days.
Yep.
You know full well that there's nothing worse than kind of turning and running in order to keep up with somebody.
Yeah.
And just an introduction of somebody that's got blistering pace when defenders tire, when they're leggy, they've been at it for an hour. This guy's fresh, he's rapid, comes on it. I mean, like you say, I don't know whether this kind of closing down is just to appease the fans, or if it's just it is just an instruction from Frankie. But I mean, that's what you're after, isn't it? Really, I mean, that like fresh legs off the bench. Sometimes it's just something as simple as that. I mean, it's coupled with that blistering pace. Like I say, it's exactly what we're after.
And the first thing he did was Shanklin played a really nice wee flick to him, and he was about 3 yards behind the St Johnstone defence and just bursts through the centre, takes it first time, and this was it when I started going, who is this St Johnstone keeper? Because I understand that he potentially could have taken a touch, maybe, but apart from that, I think he does everything right. He opens his body up, he puts his foot through it, he aims for far away for the keeper, he doesn't just hit it straight at him, and the keeper somehow gets an arm to it to not only block it, but to tip it up and out for a corner.
I think our man Tags thinks that the keeper believes that he'll, I think he's trying to catch the keeper out. I think he thinks the goalkeeper is expecting him to come closer to goal. So if he gets his shot away, he's then looking to bend it past the goalkeeper before he's even had the chance to set himself. But it's a ridiculous save.
It's so good.
I don't know if he does it, if that's the right thing to do or not. It's a lovely flick from Shanklin as well. It's a great call, really call from the officials as well, because that's the type of decision that they'd inevitably get wrong. But for once they've got it right. I don't know about the chance. I think he's just trying to catch the goalkeeper out, and ultimately he's come up against the keeper that's pulled off the save. But I don't know. I feel as though that favours maybe another touch or two, and just letting the keeper rush onto him and bend it past him, or
I understand why he didn't as well.
Oh,
it's
totally.
It's one of those, if he did the other, we would be going, why did he just hit it?
Exactly right. If he catches the goalkeeper out and is successful, I'm not complaining. So it's one of them that maybe it's a chance that he'd then kind of think about, and next time he's presented with a similar situation, he might do something different. We don't know.
Well, it didn't matter, because the ensuing corner led to a weird little bit where a St Johnstone player ended up nearly scoring an own goal. But
that was weird. They kind of poked it towards goal. Was it the boy McClelland at the back?
I think it was McClelland,
Weird one.
I don't know what was going on, but it led to another corner.
Which was terrible, by the way.
Actually, Alex Lowry's worst corner that he took all game.
Dreadful.
Really bad, but ends up at Atkinson, who just puts it back into the mixer and just
It really was. It was a terrible passage of play. The corner's awful. The ball into the box isn't great.
But tell you what is
great. Oh man.
Taro Oda's wherewithal. He almost, when I watched it at the time, I was watching it live, obviously, I was like, that's a really smart thing. Then when you see it, he like deliberately puts it into the ground so it pops up. And it pops up at perfect height. He turns his hips, swivels his hips, and just fires it, keeps it low, bottom left corner. He scored the last goal of last season. He scores the first goal of this season. Just, I'm so chuffed for him because he deserved it.
I was just about to say that. I really hope that's not the quiz question. The last player to do that, because I wouldn't have the foggiest.
Oh no, I should have done that.
Fuck. But the touch is superb. Sets himself wonderfully. Immaculate finish. Celebration, I'm not quite so sure about, but I think that's.
I think he just got too excited.
Yeah, so did I. So look, it happens. I mean, one of his opponents that day, Ryan McGowan, look at his celebrations. They were wacky and wild. Exactly. Comes to us all, Utaro. Great goal. And yeah, really, really pleased for him. Been handed that number 11, worn by greats such as Gary Mackay-Steven. So, big pressure on him.
And did Temps have 11 at one point?
No, Temps had 12. I always remember
Temps had
12.
12. Yeah.
Weird number. But, yeah, I really like Utaro. I really do. Yeah. I think it amazes me that he didn't get a sniff really under Robbie. And I know
got one half at Livingston where he played as a striker.
Like, it's so weird. But he's developing all the time, isn't he? He really looks as though he could be a smart pickup. But the only annoyance is that Celtic fans will say that they were, the inventors are going over to Japan and signing players. And
we had Machino first.
Hearts have never done that. Oh, well, they had Nakamura, so...
of course.
God forbid. But, we obviously aren't drinking from the same fountain as them. Yeah. But we look as though we could make a decent enough profit on a really, really good young prospect. So... yeah, really, really pleased for Yoda, and I think that starting berth's his now. To be honest.
He's the right winger.
I know we were talking about the array of options that we've got, and it's great to have folk pushing for places, but you wouldn't really. I couldn't really think of an 11 without Utaro Oda at the minute. To be honest,
not at all. However, a starting 11 that may have to start featuring did feature both Liam Boyce and Benny Beningame, who came back into the lineups on the 80th minute, and then very, very quickly Boyce was straight in about it. Lowry does really well to play the ball to Haring in a tight area. Haring then first time plays the ball over the top to Boyce, whose shot is again really well saved by Mitov. Then from that ensuing corner, Rolls has a great header that's on target, and Mitov does an acrobatic flip to save it and push it over the bar. Like, just amazing to see.
He was on one. Love that Liam Boyce just does not give a shit about the fact he's just back from injury. Immediately wants to get stuck in.
Exactly.
Yeah, obviously I was at East End in pre-season and they both got a rouser reception. I can imagine that it was the same at Perth. It's just such big difference makers, the pair of them.
Yeah, exactly. And then he was instrumental in the final moment of the game. As 96th minute, St Johnstone are piling the pressure on. There is a little bit of a hairy moment as it starts to pinball, and you're like, God.
Glad you said it. Would not have surprised you one bit, would it?
Nah, not at all. Graham Carey, bang, far right hand corner. It's 1-1.
Gowser popping up with the last.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's eventually cleared and actually ends up back at Mitov, who then sends it into the sky. Frankie Kent wins a header and he does it forward. Ends up at Alex Lowry, who just sees Shanklin's offside but notices Boyce is starting a run. A lovely lofted ball over the top.
It's one of those from the goals.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of them where it's just St Johnstone have completely pushed everybody forward. Yeah. Boyce said in his post-match interview he thought about having a shot himself, but thought it's a 50-50 chance, whereas if I give it to Shanks, it's a goal.
What a team player that man.
Exactly.
Would not have blamed him one bit for taking the shot.
Not at all. But I think part of him would have went, with the way this keeper's playing, I don't care if I'm going to score.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And it is on a plate for Shankland. I say it all the time, I think we're the world's worst counter-attacking football team. So it's nice that we've actually made a counter count. Just on a plate, fans go ballistic. as did I, listening to it on the radio in my car, celebrating like an absolute loser on my own, just screaming it down. Folk looking at me like, what's this weirdo up to? Just pleased we got the monkey off our back last season in Perth. We're aiming for 3 in a row now, like we say. So yeah, I don't see any reason why when we're, in full flow, that we can't clinch 3 in a row up there, because they were really poor.
They were. So
I'm not trying to get too gassed. I say it every single season, but it is imperative that you get off to a good start. Results have gone in our favour elsewhere. Great opening weekend for us.
Definitely. And hopefully we continue that momentum into Europe, which is, of course, this Thursday, the day after we release this podcast. But the other day, as we record this yesterday, we found out who our potential, if we get past Rosenborg, opponents are in the final playoff round to get into the group stages. And it is either HNK Hajduk Split of Croatia, or, now, I've seen 2 people say it. Some people spell it out as the letters, whereas other people say PAOK.
Or PAK Thessaloniki. I've heard PAK used by Greek people.
Of Greece. The 4th best team in Greece. And listen.
Or some Croatian mob.
Or some Croatian side. So, I would be very surprised if the Croatians got through. Now that is that's me just going, I know about Greek football. I don't know about Croatian football.
I'm not so sure that's such a nap. I do think PAOK are the favourites, but I think that's a pretty even tie.
Of all the Croatian teams, I think they're the team that would most likely give them a game and could get through if something happens. Is the first leg in Croatia?
Good question. I'll go and search that just now. You keep.
But
talking.
We have managed to avoid Club Bruges. We managed to avoid Fiorentina, which would have been some laugh 2 years in a row.
Oh, don't! I could have taken another trip to Florence. What a place, but no.
And so you look at it and go, listen, that's a hard draw. There's no 2 ways of looking at it. It's a hard draw. I think you found out where it is.
It's in Split, first leg.
Okay, so interesting, but it's one of the easier draws. But they were all hard draws.
You say that like it's meaningful.
Yeah,
some good sides. I mean, crikey. I was looking at it. Even the last stage, AZ Alkmaar reached the semi-finals and got put out by the eventual winners. Fiorentina got finalists, and again, obviously, West Ham got the better of them. Like Aston Villa. And the remarkable run that they're on could end up getting Hibs, which you just want. Because imagine Paul Hanlon trying to cope with Ollie Watkins and Lewis Stevenson occupying Moussa Diaby. Oh my goodness. Yuri Tielemans absolutely running the show, and Joe Newell's just trying to catch up to him. Oh,
I saw a Hibs fan. Brilliant. I can't remember who it was. It was just like, listen, it's going to be so embarrassing. Can we just pretend it's John McGinn's testimonial? And we have him at half time speaking and stuff like that.
Oh, that's the only downside, is the fact that it'd be the Sir John McGinn derby. Yeah.
But in terms of us,
but there is a part of me that hope that happens, because it would just be that could be a Hearts Spurs job, easy.
Yeah,
that could be a 20-0 aggregate and just have those 4 or 5-0 halves.
Yeah.
In terms of us, solid.
It's a hard draw. I don't think we're getting to the groups, basically.
No, we're not. But there's two ways of looking at it. If we don't get to the groups, then we're banging on domestic competition. And that could, hopefully should, work in our favour. Aberdeen, coincidentally, have got a brilliant Europa League job. They've got a really good chance of reaching the Europa League groups. Now, what would you want from Aberdeen? Would you want them to drop into the conference with the potential of getting through in the conference, or do you want them getting into the Europa
and get battered
but then they're out, so then they'd be back to domestic competition quicker? To be honest, I say this like Aberdeen have a chance in the conference of getting through. We won the games we were expected to win.
Yeah.
And our group was tricky. Fiorentina and Istanbul Başakşehir here. Obviously one of them reached the final, the other quarters or round of 16? At
least the round of 16, and I think it was the quarters though. Yeah, I think it was the quarters.
So there you go. So good sides, but I don't know. There's a part of me that wants Aberdeen to be occupied for as long as they can, while simultaneously, if we have to get knocked out early, obviously I want us to get to the conference groups. So of course I do. It's good dough. But if we don't, and we're not really expected to, then hopefully we can take advantage of that domestically and make third place our own, so that we do get into the group stages and don't have to go through this qualification malarkey.
Well, before we entertain any of that, we need to get through our Thursday night opposition, which is Rosenborg. Now, I do just want to mention the weather that is currently happening in Norway, as they are seeing, and I've got the report up here.
Oh my god, it's like Lee Johnson. I'm listening to Lee Johnson again.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are indeed. I'm a lot taller than Lee Johnson, though, so at least give me that. But Norwegian reports say that the worst weather in 32 years, as it has not stopped raining in Oslo for 36 hours.
How far is Oslo from Trondheim?
That's a good question. I'm going to find out now. It is 6 hours away.
Christ! So that's like from us to, I don't know, Birmingham,
However,
London?
Trondheim has seen record levels of water in the last 24 hours.
Great.
So the game might not happen. We don't know, but
I really hope for the travelling Jambo's sake that it does.
I know.
I've got a mate of mine's away with his dad, so fingers crossed it goes ahead.
Now, I think a lot of Hearts fans are going, look, they struggled against Crusaders, it got taken to extra time in the second leg.
I'm sort of with that, but again, we fell into the trap with Zurich, who, listen, we should have beaten, but they were seemingly rubbish in bottom of the Swiss league. So, look,
Crusaders were also a fair whack through their season, so a higher match fitness as well.
Did they not go down to 10 men as well?
Yeah, I think so.
So, you know, there's all these wee factors. There'll be wee factors that define our game, like I said earlier on. It's a decent. We've got a decent chance. I'd much prefer being away from home first and then coming back to Tynecastle knowing what we've got to do. Much rather that than, you know, we're under false illusions in the home leg, and before you know it, we've got to go to Norway and hang on to a draw. So a draw would do us. Dare I say a 1-goal defeat, maybe same as Zurich isn't a disaster. Stay in the tie, hopefully take them at Tynecastle, and then Jambos can start booking either Croatia or Greece. Two brilliant places to go to. Loved my time in Croatia, very nice. And obviously Greece would be absolutely Martin Boylan, so it'd be good. Definitely.
Well, in between those two games, Kilmarnock travel to Tynecastle in the league.
Probably more worried about the Kelly game, to be honest.
Yes,
exactly. Rangers.
A side who we are terrible at home, seems to be, apart from the Old Firm, the team that we can't seem to beat at home. However, there could be a debut for another new signing.
Nice.
As Kenneth Vargas finally has arrived in Gorgie. The best announcement video pair we've ever done, ever.
You're taking full credit for that, and as you should.
Yep, absolutely. They did it.
Did Hearts give you any royalties off it?
No, none at all. I'm waiting.
Poor.
I'm still waiting.
Very poor.
Shocking. But yeah, Kenny Vargas. His name is actually Kenneth Gazabo Vargas. He has Vargas twice.
Gazabo?
I think that's his name. I might be wrong. I'm going to find out right now. I think it starts with a G.
There's me thinking that a gazebo is what you put up that big fancy garden tent.
Gerardo.
Ah, muy bien.
Or Gerardo, I guess. I don't know.
Gerardo. Kenneth Gerardo Vargas. I mean, that's got me swooning.
Yeah. He's called Kenny. He's from Costa Rica. He's absolutely stunning. And he's here. And he's perfect.
Kim Kardashian tweet.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't say I know a lot. He's seemingly quick.
He's number 77.
He seems like a Raj bastard. He's got his neck tat.
He does.
He just reeks of like one of the good Romanov signings. Just like a cult hero. I really hope that it transpires that way. The funny thing for me is we seem to have got the really good end of the deal. We've worked the deal well.
It's mental.
The initial loan with loan to buy, I never get that if you're the selling club. Because what happens, like, if they do well out on loan...
There's no win-win. It's a lose-lose for you.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
unless you're getting a silly fee.
They're obviously going to take that option up. I don't get it.
Because oftentimes...
We come out here on top regardless of what happens. If he's honking, we don't sign him on a permanent. If he's brilliant, and we've already got a fee agreed...
That's the big thing for me.
Then we exercise it.
Yeah, it could be a low fee. What we hear is that it's like a low 6-end figure fee. What if he's absolutely amazing and it turns out he's like £1 million player and it's like, we'll take him for 100 grand, thank you very much.
Do you know what I mean? Like that... How... That can't work. Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
I always find that funny. But very smart. Again, under previous regimes, we would have shelled out big dough and then he'd been rubbish. Because he arrives with this price tag. We place far too much pressure on him as a fan base. And before you know it, like, he's swallowed up by the crowd. Yeah. Love how he's said about the club's interest and the club's...
Yeah.
Not pursuit of him.
Yeah, but that is he felt wanted.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And again, I hope he can contribute. We could see a really fluid front four in essence.
Fast
really
as
here.
Fuck.
A fast as fuck fluid front four that don't necessarily have to play in the position that they might start in.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
Want like they could be interchanging all the time, and it could be a really fun Hearts team to watch. So. I'm all on board, mate.
Well, how do you think that's going to affect Kilmarnock? Give me a score prediction.
One each.
I was also going to say one each as well. Yeah, so was I. I just never think we're going to beat Kelly.
A lot of it depends on Thursday, but
yeah,
they'll be wanting to take advantage of that. The fact that they've just beaten Rangers at home, big confidence boost. I don't know. I'd be amazed if we came out with a draw in Norway and all 3 points at the weekend, if I'm honest. I feel like something's got to give.
You're right, it'll be 2 wins for 2.
Love that from you. Love that.
But no, I agree.
Why not?
I think 1-0.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 on Hearts, but again...
I wouldn't be surprised to see 2-1 Kelly.
No, nothing surprised with this football club. Who are we kidding? No, I'm probably going to go 1 each for who scored it. Honestly, would not surprise me. Because again, like travel and all that, I don't know if it'll take it out of us rather. But
true.
We'll see.
So, before we finish, as ever, we have the quiz.
Yeah, great.
You look thrilled. First one this season. Come on, I believe in you.
Bricking it. I don't.
It's 18-8 in the Who Am I's. I believe you can get it to 18-9. Mainly because I accidentally think I've made it the easiest player I've ever done. So
nice.
We'll see about that. But
that means
obviously,
nothing, though.
Yeah, true. As ever, we have true or false, multiple choice, who am I, and 2 normal questions. And we're starting with the multiple choice.
Oh, interesting.
So, Lawrence Shankland scored the 8,000th league goal for Hearts this weekend.
Oh, God.
But who scored the first? Was it... Now, the only reason I'm asking this is that the club did a big piece on it.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I've not seen it, so that's great.
Is it A, Isaac Begbie? Is it B, Tommy Brown? Is it C, Alan Collins? Or is it D, Jamie Begbie?
No idea.
That's why I give you multiple choice. I didn't just go, name the goal scorer.
This is... I don't even have an educated guess. This is just sheer guesswork. Tommy Brown.
He is the guy who scored our 1,000th goal, or 2,000th goal, I can't remember. It is Isaac Begbie in a 5-2 loss to Rangers at Ibrox in 1890.
Great. Thanks. Let's move on.
There we go. So, question number 2. Hearts have played Kilmarnock 276 times competitively. Oh. How many of them were won by us? Now, I'll give you 5 each way, if you can get it. So we played 276.
There's no multiple choice or no clues, nothing.
Actually, I'll give you 10 each way. If you within 10.
How many? 276?
Yep. This is according to London Hearts.
I think it's going to be a lot more evenly matched than we think.
Right.
276 divided by 2 is 138. I'm going to go... Again, total guesswork. I've got 148 in my head to go within 10 of that. I'm gonna go with 148. No idea. Be less than that, innit?
You've massively extended our ability.
Massive.
It's 111.
Well, 111 out of 276. What's
we've won 111.
Kelly got in comparison?
Kelly have won 95, and there's been 70 draws.
Wow.
So there we go.
Okay.
Now,
disaster. Fuck me. This is a rotten quiz. Maybe got 2 for 2 so far. Then fair play to you, but Jesus wept.
You mentioned this earlier, and I lied. No. It is in the quiz.
Oh, you
Oda
bastard.
Became the first player to score the last competitive goal of one season and the first of the next. Since who?
Why did I not do my research for this? I knew it would be in the quiz. I genuinely knew it. Oh my god.
I will say this, there was a wrong answer floating around Twitter.
Jesus. What, did somebody tweet this?
Somebody tweeted the stat.
Oh, God.
And then they immediately replied going, sorry, I'm wrong. It's not this person, it's this person. So it's ever. It's like, Oda became the first person since when was the last time we had someone do this?
Can you give me the year? Or the seasons?
Yes.
Or does that
yes,
make
I
it
can.
obvious?
I think it makes it obvious because all I'll say is it's within the last 5 seasons.
Within the last 5 seasons, really?
Yeah. If I gave you the year, you'd immediately go, oh, him. So I don't want to make it too easy, but I'll say it's within the last 5. The wrong answer that was going around, by the way, was Mark De Vries.
MTV, like it.
It isn't him, though. He did it.
Well, no, in the last 5 years. No, I don't know.
No, he did it, but we've had two people since.
2 players since, wow. Oh my god.
I will tell you, also another clue, they are both forwards. It's not like a weird defender thing.
Right, okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking the season before last it was John Suter scored our opening. No, that's a lie. Gary Mackay-Steven did.
Gary Mackay-Steven did.
Don't tell me Gary Mackay-Steven. That number 11 shirt. Oh my god. No.
It's like passed down to Oda.
Championship. I think, did GMS score at Wraith Rovers in our last fixture?
GMS definitely scored at Wraith because we won like back-to-back 4-0 or something.
Yeah.
He definitely scored in the first one. Like away.
Oh my god. Because he did score the opener against Celtic, excuse me. Oh my god, what a question. Why did I not think of this? Do your research! Oh, Jesus. 15-16. How did we end 15-16? Oh, God. Was 16-17, was that Wanma against St Johnstone? Or was that 18? Oh, no. Oh, God. No, that was the start of 15-16. Yes, because we were a newly promoted outfit. 16-17. Osmond So's in my head for some reason, but I don't think it is. And Gary Mackay-Steven. Oh, Jesus. In the last 5 years, that comment has really thrown me off. It can't then be so, can it? So I'd be leaning towards GMS, but I don't think it is.
5 years. 5 years, yes.
So is it 16-17 into 17-18 then? Oh, you
who knows,
bastard. Oh my god, I apologise for dragging this out, team, but it really is bothering me. Don't be fucking Osmond So. I feel like it's GMS, you know. Oh, why did I not search this? I'm so angry at myself that I didn't. Is it neither of them? Just be honest. Don't do this, mate. Come on, it's not that deep. Just
I
give
need
me
an
something.
answer.
I'm gonna go GMS. I don't know.
So, the initial answer that was
So it's Osmond. So
was neither of the two men that you have answered.
no.
It was Mark de Vries in terms of competitive games because he scored the last goal in the 01-02 season and then the first competitive goal of 02-03 because we were in Europe. So he scored
was that
there.
Was that Braga? No.
Potentially. I can't remember who it was against. But
Who do we
the
play
answer
for
in
Braga?
the league, in the tweet, was in 2017, Isma Goncalves.
Oh, was it Isma?
But then
Somebody
the guy
stumped up.
corrected himself
Uh-huh.
and said it was actually for both. If you want to do it in the league or if
Uh-huh.
you want to do it in all conditions, it was Gary Mackay-Stevens.
Was it actually?
in 2021.
Yes, come
He
on.
scored the last goal in a 4-0 win against Wraith.
Wraith, I remember
And then
it.
opened it
Yeah.
against it.
Oh, yeah. There was a part of me I was like, did he open the scoring or did he conclude the scoring?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
So
Jesus
you've not got zero. You've not got
Christ.
zero. Hooray.
I'm really impressed with myself there because
Same.
I'm annoyed that I didn't do the research.
Very impressed.
That's good.
So, true
I
or
nearly
false
fell into
now?
the trap with that exact
did.
same game with the suitor thing though.
Yep.
I needed your clues, but got there in the end.
Exit. You'll take it. True or false?
I'll get this wrong.
New signing Kenny Vargas has a throat tattoo that translates to always victorious.
Oh Jesus! Can I see what it says?
Yeah.
Or is that cheating? What does?
I say you can have a look. I'll throw you a bone. You've got 1 out of 3.
At the end of the day, this is just a guess in terms of my Spanish. Which
Yes,
admittedly
it's
isn't
how
great.
well can you understand Spanish?
What does it say? Oh my God! I can't even see it with the clubs. Oh, what does that say? Is that have you got it there? No.
I don't have the Spanish.
Right, hold on a second. Oh my God! I forget that the club have a different username on Instagram.
There's a baseball
I was about to
player
search
called
Jam
Kenny
Tarts.
Vargas when you sign in, when you search for him.
Pura Vido.
Pura Vido.
Pura Vido. Does Vido not mean life? What
don't know.
What did you say that the translation was?
That it translates to always victorious.
Oh. Ay, ay, ay. Mi no comprende español. Rubbish. Rank rotten. I don't know. I thought Vido meant something life, so I'm going to say that it's false, but it's probably true, isn't it?
It is false, and it does mean life.
Oh, what does it mean? Pure life or something?
Pure life.
Pure life. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Or simple life, depending
Ah.
on like your area and stuff like that. It depends.
Nice.
On that. We don't
Oh,
know
there
which
we
one
go.
it is, but I just find
Bit
it
of
funny how like,
Espanol, bit of culture.
throat tattoos are often quite intimidating. Then it's just a lovely message.
Simple
Like,
life. Pure life.
that's what it is. Right,
What a guy.
the who am I? So you've done 2 for 4.
That's
You
alright.
saved that.
Respectable. Yeah.
You saved
It's
that.
not too bad.
I am suddenly having a panic that we've done this person before. So this is going to be somewhat. Fuck's sake. I don't think we have. Right. So, who am I?
Right, okay.
My dad scored a championship title winning goal. Not the championship, just a championship.
A league
winning
championship
goal.
winning
A league
goal.
championship. My dad scored a league championship winning goal.
Right.
I have played at a World Cup, but not whilst I was at Hearts. I made just under 50 appearances for Hearts, scoring 8 goals. Before joining Hearts, I played for one of the teams Scottish opposition will come up against in Europe this season. I've played in England, Scotland, Australia, Switzerland and Japan. Who am I?
Oi, 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 oi. Right, so in terms of the countries that you've played in, England, Scotland, and you said Switzerland.
Yep.
So that could be any one of Hibs' opponents, or Rangers' Servette. What were the other countries, sorry?
So I've played in England, Scotland, Australia, Switzerland and Japan.
So Australia and Japan are obviously exempt because it's Euro competition.
Yep.
Oi, 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 oi. My dad scored in what? He scored a
league-winning
goal. Just thinking in terms of the questions. Who's your dad?
You can't do that. That's exempt.
Of course I would.
I can give you his first name if you want.
No.
Imagine if I did that without thinking. There, it was just like, it's this person.
Oh, it's funny. Right, can you read the clues again, please, McIver?
Yes, my dad scored a league-winning goal.
Right.
I have played at a World Cup, but not whilst I was at Hearts. I made just under 50 appearances for Hearts, scoring 8 goals. Before joining Hearts, I played for one of the teams Scottish opposition will come up against in Europe this season. I have played in England, Scotland, Australia, Switzerland and Japan. You've got your 2 questions.
I know, but I don't. This is the thing. We always ask for the clubs and when they played for Hearts, and I kind of want to steer away from that. But the clubs I feel would help me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can I get the list of clubs that they played for in order, please?
You motherfucker, right? I think you're going to get it off this alone.
Okay, well, that's encouraging.
Right. Avoca FC.
Who?
Parramatta Eagles. Blacktown City Demons. NSWIS. Central Coast Mariners. Reading. Central Coast Mariners. Reading. Woking. Cheltenham. Aldershot. Central Coast Mariners. Luzerne. Melbourne Victory. Ventroft Kofu. Melbourne City. Heart of Midlothian. Central Coast Mariners. Western Sydney Wanderers.
What? How many spells at Central Coast? Oh my god. That's honking. No, like nobody's popping out of me. Reading and Central Coast.
Yep.
And where did we sign them from? Central Coast?
Melbourne City.
Melbourne? Oy, oy, oy.
I don't like that you're ignoring Blacktown City Demons and Parramatta Eagles.
Who the fuck are they? Melbourne? The clubs after as well are honking. So we pick them up from Australia and send them back to Australia?
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh, I think I know.
Yeah, it was when you think about it for any period of time, it's like,
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna ask, was this player signed by Craig Levine?
Yes.
Is it Oli Bozanic, no?
It's Oli Bozanic.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank God
I've just
for
seen
that.
there
Jesus.
described as versatile and energetic.
Oh,
I don't know if
oh
Boz
my
was
God,
ever
you have no
energetic.
idea how relieved I am there. Jesus Christ. Some of
So,
those clubs.
To
When
explain.
did he go to Japan? Did he start his career in Japan?
Nope, in 2017.
With who?
Ventforet Kofu.
Yep. I remember his time
Playing
there.
the J2 League. So, he's the son of Vic Bozanic, who was part of the West Adelaide team who won the 1978 National Soccer League.
I can't believe I forgot that. Sorry.
What were my other fucking clues? I've played at World Cup, but not whilst I was at Hearts. He played for Australia in the 2014 World Cup.
So he'd have been in the same squad as Gowser?
Yep.
Who was he playing for then?
He was at Luzerne, Hibs opponents. Which, by the way,
That's a weird one.
I didn't know that. I didn't pick Bozanic because he played for Luzerne. I was just happy
was
to
just
pick
a bonus.
Bozanic, and then I was like, "Oh, there's a clue. He played for Luzerne."
Oh my God!
I made just under 50 appearances for Hearts, scoring 8 goals. I didn't want to put in the clue I scored an iconic derby goal because that really narrowed it down.
Yeah, that was a great goal. That was a great
Yeah.
night, actually.
That's one of my favourite goals ever.
That was brilliant. It was picking somebody up from Melbourne, and I was like, who the hell did we then sell to Central Coast?
So he had 4 spells at Central Coast.
As soon as I
including
hear a
his youth
Central
career.
Coast, I just immediately think of John Sutton, and I know that it's wrong. I just remember us farming him out there to bring Beattie in. And then Western Sydney, I think he's at currently, right?
He is currently at where we obviously
because I can remember
got Neuenhof.
Yeah, I can picture him there, but not at Central Coast or Melbourne. So the fact that he was then sold on, oh god, I made hard work of that.
Well done though.
Jesus.
You're 1 for 1. We're both 1 for 1s in the Who Am I's start of the season.
Great start to the season, isn't it? Good that
Love
it's back. Love the pod being back. Love Hearts being back. Love that we're back in Europe.
Just great all round, basically.
It is great till the weekend, worryingly.
Yeah, exactly. So, massive thank you for listening. This was a bit of a longer one because we just had so much stuff to talk about.
And I took the piss in the quiz, let's be honest.
Aye, but that's fine. You did well. And 3 out of 5 eventually after that start that you had.
Yeah, let us know if you did any better. Those first 2
Yeah.
questions, oh my god.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Very well done. Very well done. But if you have enjoyed, please let us know on social media. We're at Perth to Paisley on everything. You can get us on the email perthtopaisley@gmail.com. If you have enjoyed it and you want to just let us know by a review, leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. It massively helps us out. Additionally, if you're watching us on YouTube and seeing Adam struggle to remember all of his aunt's name, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. We really did appreciate the amount of comments last week chastising us.
I was about to say, albeit most of them were slagging our memories, but thanks for that, team. Really appreciate
it. It genuinely really does help us. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can get me and my love of the A-League at Adam T. Kendall. What about yourself, mate?
I'm at DMcIver22. We'll be back next week to discuss the Rosenborg first leg, the Killy game at Tynecastle, anything else that's happened, if there's any departures or incomings, whole load of stuff like that. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Safe travels, Monagites!